Hello and welcome back to Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition Dark Sun Chapter 2 Shattered Lands. When we last left off, we were trying to get through this. Also, I looked under settings and yeah, I remember if you import your characters, it starts you off on the hardest difficulty. Let's
Make way for the Queen's garbage.
make way for the Queen's Guard. We'll do balanced for now.
Die! Die! Die!
Animations on. Okay. So ideally, let's put Yansu in charge. Use the fountain. Basin's dry. Yeah, I know, but everything is moving terribly. Go that way, or did you go this way? You're going this way. Okay. Talk. Yes, let's go. Come on. Staircase hidden behind the cabinet in the north room. Just push the button on the basin next to it and the cabinet will open. Okay, thank you. Stairs lead down to an underground building. Do you enter? Yes. Loaded. Gur yourself. Greetings! The Veiled Lions welcomes you into our fold. I am Matthias Morthen, the leader of the cells here and here. Arslan sent word that you were checking in on the Templars. Have you news that they're doing? Yeah. Matthias listens in grave silence as Yansu Thalskina explains the situation with the Templars and the forces from Uldroxel. I've read about the city, but never once thought its people would venture from their valley to the Sea of Silt. Life preserves us. Tyr cannot hope to survive such a catastrophe. Already it's on the brink of an anarchy. I knew we would face consequences for Calic's death. But come, must begin preparations for whatever they have in store for our beleaguered city. How does Calic's death figure into this? Only in that when a sorcerer king Calic was slain in his pyramid as he tried to transform into a dragon, a void was created in the power structure of Tyr. Yeah, so I guess that's the thing in Dark Sun. Dragons aren't natural, they're wizards who amass enough power to do so. Calic's evil was great, and I do not in the least mourn his demise. But it had its price in lawlessness in the streets, and now the attention of the dragon. Well, tell me about the city, Ordraxa. Ordraxa is a dreadful city in the middle of the Sea of Silt. Yeah, we were on the edge of Sea of Silt last game. Nothing but evil tales have ever come out of it. Now it seems evil as decided to spawn more than just stories. I'm a little tired. Any place we can rest? Of course! Forgive my manners. I'm all too anxious to hear what you have learned in the Templar's offices. Guest room awaits you. This is the first room to the west as you walk south along the main corridor. So what are we going to do? Right now we must prepare for the worst. Study our enemy and gather our strength. Talk to Alika. She will give you the names of some of our contacts in Tyr. My strongest advice, however, is to do some research of your own in the workings of these Templars. Well, where can I do this research? We have archive and research rooms in the northeast corner of the headquarters. You are more than welcome to use them. And who is Alexa? Well, Alexa's a programmed office assistant. No, wait, no, different Alexa. She is the one who handles communication between the Veiled Alliance cells and takes care to our day-to-day needs. Her office is just west of the entry hall. And how are we going to stop the Draxons? I'm not sure yet. Currently, the Draxons have been unable to complete any plans they have. The answer to our problems will be found in one of my many books. Patience and wisdom. These are the virtues that will lead us to victory. I'll be in my private rooms to the northeast. You're welcome to come talk with me anytime. All right. So, we are in a new place. We'll put Sal in the lead, and let me look this place up. 1 sec. Okay, I think I've figured out a little bit about what's going on here. I can go and say hi to these folks. Veiled Alliance Guard, level 9, bow, and a +1 longsword. How you doing? Hello, is there something you wanted? I am Saldura Hallbuck. Glad to have met you, Saldura. They call me Ruckus, not for any reason I know of, it's just what they call me. What do you do for the Veiled Alliance? I'm just a guard. I make sure no one comes here uninvited, play bodyguard when the magic users walk around in town, that sort of thing. How'd you become a member? A couple of years back on a tussle with some guards who were harassing this man. Didn't think it was fair, there being 5 of them. It wasn't until Matthias rescued me from the slave pits, got sent there for killing those guards, that I found out man was a preserver. Old man Matthias offered me a place here and I took it. Cool. What's the latest news? I haven't heard much about the Draxons. That's what I'd like to find out about. No news is bad news as far as I'm concerned. I gotta get back to my duties. Good talking to you. Bye. You all have the same name? Oh, you are all different. Hello, how can I help you? Who are you? I'm Treve. Oh. What do you do? I haven't been doing much, actually. I just joined the Veil last month, and they're still sending me on small errands. That's still important stuff, though. How did you become a member? Wasn't easy. I was trying to join ever since all the slaves were freed. I think they were suspicious because I was a Templar's slave. But that just really means to know how terrible the Templars really are. That makes sense. What convinced them to let you join? I made a name for myself on the streets, someone who would go to any lengths to keep the defilers at a tier. After a while, everyone in town assumed I was a member, so they took me in for my own protection. What's the latest? Several bodies were found at the foot of the pyramid the other day. Some folk are saying it's King Calic's ghost come to haunt Tyr. I think it's about as believable as a flying cank. It's time I got back to my duties. Good talking to you. Bye. And you? Hello, how can I help you? Who are you? Name's Gravar. Perhaps maybe you've heard of me? Why would I know you? You mean you haven't heard of me? Well, it's been a while since I fought in the arena, and you're new in town. Fact is, I was the best gladiator Tyr has ever seen. Oh. So, what do you do for the Alliance? You might call it volunteer work, since these wizards aren't strong enough to carry their own swords. Need tough fighters like me, 'cause I'm only too happy to lend a hand for the cause. Uh-huh. How'd you become a member of the Vale? I don't remember ever making the decision to join. Just sort of happened. Ran a few errands for Arslan. You know him? He's a good friend of mine. I guess folks around here figured they needed me too much and made me a member. And what's the latest goss? Just talk about the team from Uruk coming to town. I'd sure like to meet them. They're great heroes. Yeah, it's about time I got back to my duties. Good talking to you. Bye. I don't think we're from Uruk. And that's Matthias again. And we want to save, because we're taking a peeking at this book. Alyssa Relta's eyes begin to water as she tries to decipher the magical text. Keep using. Alyssa Relta finds a page with a large hole in it, which seems to open into nothingness. Do you reach in? Sure. Alyssa pokes her hand around in the hole. Suddenly, someone grabs Alyssa's hand and clambers out of the tome. Oh. It's an air elemental. Struck by a bolt of electricity. Chill to the marrow of her bones. That's annoying. Currently enfeebled. We won't reach into it. Up in flames as an element bursts out of the book. Alright, back to being okay. No. Blank as soon as what's the look. Might be I'll have to reload. Because you can learn spells from this. Tyr's strangely formed letters can't make sense of the magical text. Feeble-minded. We'll try once more on screen, and it appears on a page preparing for the Lord Warrior's visit. He will inspect the gardens and other projects in the ziggurat. Also be sure a map of the traps is drawn for him. Don't want to lose your head because of oversight. Interesting. Okay, we'll just talk to Matthias. Listen, relative, come make yourself comfortable. Is there something I can do for you? What exactly is in that tome? Apart from it contains results of my studies, the book contains magic of many kinds. Usually your risk, hunters can produce many unwanted effects. Notice. What's this Veiled Alliance all about? We're like most cells of the Veil, doing our best to protect preservers and help Atlas survive the ravages of the Defilers. Each chapter of the Veil works independently towards these goals. And have things changed since Calic died? Very little, true. We do not suffer persecution from the Templars as much, but the information you found in their offices, just proves the respite will be short-lived, and of course the dangers faced by preservers not limited to Templars. Yeah. How independent are the chapters? The name of, is the only thing shared between the chapters of each city. We each pursue our goals in our own time with our own mandates. A bit inefficient? Perhaps, but it's much safer. Since I have no contact with any cells apart from the ones in Tyr, I cannot betray them if I were captured. Yep. Headquarters is a strange building. Tyr, as you may know, was built atop an even more ancient city, which this building was a part of. It was called a bathhouse, if you can believe it. Sunken areas were once filled with water that people used to soak in, among other things. Yeah, what's the history of Tyr's chapter? Veiled Alliance in Tyr was founded some 500 years ago and led by a mage of legendary power for 3 centuries. If you're interested, there's a book in the archives east of my room, which tells the full story. Tell me about yourself, Matthias. I am a simple man, having lived long enough to realize life's best pleasures are the small ones. A drink of cool water and a friend to talk with. What more could you want? You must have more interest than that. There are my studies, of course. That massive tome in my room is the culmination of my life's work. What do you study? History is a great passion of mine, particularly magical practice and influence. It's remarkable how turning points in history coincide with the advent or re-emergence of a particular magic. Do you have ambitions for this veil? Survival is the primary goal of us all, and it is difficult enough to achieve. Making that struggle somewhat more bearable is what I want to achieve. What about ridding Atlas of evil? Going out to look for trouble is more Ramilla's style. My experience has taught me that evil seeks the path of greatest resistance. If you are meant to do battle against evil, it'll find you soon enough. Tell me about the other members. Vale headquarters here has many of the finest members. Ramilla, Sylvan, Aleka, Mondi, and many others. All are most reliable. So, tell me about Ramilla. Ramilla is second in command here, one of our more, shall we say, active members. She and her Divulgent supporters are meeting right now in the second room. That's in the southeast corner of the headquarters. What do you mean by active? Ramilla prefers the direct approach to solving our problems with the Templars, or anything else for that matter. As she says, if there were no Templars, we would have no problems. I mean, yeah, but random killing isn't the best option. I guess everyone has their own opinion. Indeed they do. I'd like to hear about Sylvain. Sylvain's our healer. Unfortunately, she is kept all too busy. Worried that even her exceptional talents will be overtaxed. Where is the time you will not find her in the sick room? Sylvain always busy? This is a dangerous operation you've involved yourself in. I would have thought your foray in the Templar's office would have taught you that. What's exceptional about her talents? That, I'm sure, is for her to say. Clerical magic is not my strong point. All I know is that she has done something with the font in the sick room to give its waters restorative properties. Oh, where is the sick room? Take the main corridor south past the entrance hall, and the sick room is the second door on the west. Oh, what can you tell me about Aleka? We heard about her before. Aleka is my right hand, and my left hand for that matter. Without her, I would have no time for my studies or my many errands I perform to ensure the Vale's safety and preparedness. And what can you tell me about Mondi? Mondi is a special case here. He is more of a permanent guest than an actual member of the Vale. Why don't you say he's an actual member? Mondi pursues his own agenda, which happens to parallel with the Vale's. Still, he's in his own world and pays little heed to the outside realities. And what agenda is this? The Mondi's a purist, seeking knowledge for its own sake. He is likely to touch off something destructive as he is something helpful. And what makes Namandi special? Namandi has a knack for discovering the magical properties of things. Completely unorthodox, he works on intuition and impulse more than logic and research. Whatever his methods, though, he has helped the Vale in untold ways. How? There was one time when Ramilla came in with a large diamond. We planned to sell it to a merchant, but when Namandi touched it, quietly told us to cook our food with it in the pots. We laughed, but did as he said. It wasn't until after a trader tried to poison us with that the diamond's true worth was revealed. It neutralized any poison it contacted. Oh, what does Namandi do here? He researches various magics, especially those dealing with the elemental spells and enchantments. Seems to have a natural affinity for such things. What is Divulgence? The Veiled Alliance is a secret organization, not because the Defilers wield such great power, but because the very people we seek to help will strike out against any form of magic. Supporters of Divulgence think the secrecy should end. Oh. How do you stand? Divulgence is a foolhardy notion that ignores the realities of the world. Atlas has been too deeply scarred to ever accept the naive notions Divulgence requires. Isn't ignorance the cause of their fear? That is an argument Ramilla throws around, saying we should teach them the difference between good and harmful magic. That would be a mistake. The people are better off keeping their fear. And Divulgence bring Vale support? Of course it will, but filers know where we are and what we're doing, a condition implicit on divulgence. How long will there be for something to support? Well, I'd like to ask your advice on things. Of course, the role of leader is primarily one of advising. What would you like to ask? Why would the Draxons come to Tyr? For the same reason bandits come. They feel they can get away with their crimes since Tyr no longer has a Sorcerer King. I am, however, suspicious on why the dragon would come to Tyr. Offers nothing the dragon could not take from its home in Urdroxa. Knowing that motive could be crucial preventing its coming. What do you think the dragon's motives are? Can only guess at this point, and guessing about your enemy is a dangerous game. It would not surprise me, though, if the dragon is the least of our worries. What could be worse than a dragon? The ambitions of vicious men. They would play with their destruction of Atlas itself to satisfy their hunger. What do you know about Urdroxa? Urdroxa is a dreadful city in the middle of the Sea of Silt. Nothing but evil has ever come out of it. Now it seems that evil has decided to spawn more than just stories. How do I stop the Draxons? Right now, I need more information on the Draxons. Alexa can put you in contact with our spies and tiers. Her office is just west of the entry hall. Okay, well, that's a lot of information. But that'll be for another time. When we come back, folks? Whew. Well, at least we're in this place. Have a good one.